just wanna let go. I ain't so low. Speaking on my elbow, but they don't know. Now you see the skin glow, sweet like cocoa.
Hey everybody, it's Benji, better known as Moiciara, and today's video, okay, I know I was gone for like 2 weeks or so y'all just kind of gotta bear with me. Y'all know. I do want to say, my channel is growing. I want to thank everyone who's been watching my videos, getting your shits and giggles, subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. But I also want to get into today's topic, which is, I have my phone right here, so I might be looking at my notes. Maybe not. We're going to see how raw and unfiltered I need to be in order for, me to kind of stay on topic. I kind of wanted to talk about that. A lot of people feel like there's a black gay agenda being pushed on our children, on our media, I guess in general, because of the way, we're in a different world. I mentioned this in another video. When I was younger, there wasn't a lot of representation for me to see how to identify or people that I could really like look up to. Now, I think I mentioned this in the video as well, that there probably was like comedic references, like you had Martin dressing up as Shanae, and you had Wanda from In Living Color. Like it was always something like comedy based or whatever. And then I think of course when RuPaul stepped on the scene, it was more like, okay, here's the drag queen representation, but I never seen nobody living their life like me. And I know we're in a completely different times. Like you see, there's trans, there's gay, there's lesbian relationships in TV and on in shows and stuff like that, which I believe I touched on in a previous video. But I want to say, focusing more specifically now, we're in a time where children have become more aware or outwardly speaking on, their sexuality at a young age. Because a lot of times people don't understand, like, they're like, oh, a child is too young to know who they are or what they identify as or what have you. But I knew who I was at a very young age. And I see these things such as Zaya Wade, like I think she's like the most heaviest topic. And if I'm not mistaken, today she's on the cover of what magazine my baby on? She on the cover of, hold on one second, y'all. She's on the cover of, Days magazine. Sickening, love it. And what I will say about this, like, I love how bold she was. Like, to be the child of, such a like famous basketball player. And I'm thinking about something else, but I want to, if y'all know what's been going on, I won't talk about that. So yeah. But for her to be a part of, or the child of such a famous NBA player or whatever, and to like tap daddy on the shoulder and be like, hey, I think I'm trans. I think this is how I want to live my life because I don't see myself in a male form or a male body or what have you. And that takes bravery. Like I don't want to put this out here because I didn't necessarily talk to the person about it, but I'm so happy that children are learning how to express themselves more without being fearful of what parents may think, how they may process it, stuff like that. Because I know when I was 13, 14, I wasn't saying nothing. I wasn't speaking on anything because I knew, coming from, like I said, a religious background, I didn't want to deal with that. So I applaud Zaya for coming out and living her life and her truth the way she wants to. And like there's always some backlash. The backlash is like, how can people accept the fact that her being a minor and living in her truth and that be okay? because we come from, um, inner systematic racism, within our own community. And by that being the case, we allow those prejudices, to interfere with how we feel like children or people in general should identify. Like, there's people that see me all the time and they look at me like I'm an alien or like I don't belong, because that's the way society has painted this picture of people who look like me. Definitely because I'm black. I'm black. I'm gay. Um, I'm non-gender, non-binary, androgynous. All those labels you want to throw all right up in there. And it's crazy because by that being the case, people still haven't in 2023. We still in the same place. I feel like when it comes to, I don't want to say I want to say we're still in the same place as far as in people being more um, acceptance, accepting, people who are of the LGBTQIA, elemental PQRs community. But also, I feel like we've grown in areas as far as invisibility. But the visibility is more so based in media purposes versus like in real life. Like, I was in Target um, last week, and I seen, a young, I don't know if she was trans or what, or it was just a feminine um gay guy or what have you. But it was so nice to see that, because I know damn near 15 years ago, like, that wasn't happening. That, like, I remember being so like on this own little thing. Like, I wasn't, there wasn't a lot of people like me, and there still aren't a lot of people like me. And then that goes into saying like how people are pushing this gay agenda outward, because you have so many people like I said, Isaiah Way, you have Laverne Cox, you have tsmadison, who are living so out loud and proud, because that's what they choose to do. That's because they identify who they are and how they want to represent themselves and how they want others to see them. And obviously, there's different variations and different layers to, those three women, she a child, she a baby, so she a young woman, but but no, but I just think, we see it more and more now when it comes to representation. And then there's, like I said, with representation there's backlash, and with the backlash is people questioning how people should live their lives, because I know one of the oldest sayings is that, oh, I don't care about them being whatever, just don't bring it around me. Which, that's why I said it brings back into that internal systematic racism, because as us being black people and identifying as black people, that instantly becomes separate from our sexual identity, our sexual representation, how we present, what we do. What I do in the bedroom behind closed doors should not dictate the character of how I am as a human being. But clearly we don't live in a world like that. That's why there's always this, turmoil between accepting women living out loud, and men being dominant, and women being submissive, and all the crazy stuff y'all know that's constantly going on in the world today. And I just feel like, I don't want to say I have not witnessed or I haven't seen things that have triggered or made me feel like there isn't this place where they latch on to what's trendy. I remember, like, in the earlier 2000s, whatever, the mid early 2000s, like, when I felt like they was really trying to, like, they made sure they had a gay character in, like, everything. They still do now. Hey. And I don't mind representation, but I be wanting representation to be something that's natural and not like a fantasy, because I feel like when they have a gay person in it or whatever, sometimes it comes off very fantasy, or they don't really like delve into the characters being, They more so focus on, oh, they're gay. Oh, they're instantly attached into a relationship versus actually like identifying who this person is. I feel like right now on TV, All American Homecoming is doing the best with Nate. I feel like they have allowed her character to show layers. And I honestly, I'll be 35 in a matter of months, and I think I've never seen that on TV to this day. It's either they have a gay storyline, the person is DL, they're trying to figure out whatever, or they have a young gay person, but it's not strong enough for me to feel like I can be connected to it. You know, it's just, I guess you could say it's typical. Like, oh, here's the bubbly gay guy. Hey, like, it gives very much that. So you just be like, okay, they got a gay person in there. Woo, yay for representation. But it doesn't necessarily connect in a way that you can feel like, hey, I see myself. And I mean, hey, who am I? There's a lot of girls out here who probably look at it and they be like, oh yeah, I can identify with that. I just know me. I don't think I've ever seen anything on TV where I really identify with anything besides Uncle Clifford's role on P Valley and Nate from All American Homecoming, because I feel like she's young, she's vibrant, she's doing her thing. They're showing the education aspect of what she's trying to do, how she's trying to do it, and you know, of course, she had a relationship drama going on. You know, gotta have a little spice, but nonetheless, it's not taken away from her existence, like her layers, and that's what I'm trying to get at. And I feel like we're finally pushing past the like let me throw this in your face, but here's the layers, and I feel like they did that also with Sophia Laverne's cock role in Orange is the New Black. Like, I feel like now, yeah, let's take it there, because they really, with her being a trans woman inside of a female prison, they definitely that has to be one of the first shows of the 2010s that really broke ground of really like, okay, we're not going to, and definitely it was on Netflix at that, so they was really taking a strong risk of keeping her on the show the whole time, and then really like stripping back those layers, so you can see she's not just the trans woman in the jailhouse that's doing hair. Like she's actually, they tell, obviously they're going to tell the backstory, but they really show like the connections and layers to her personality. And I feel like that's what we lose when they're throwing it in our face, because it's like, okay, it's in our face now, so we kind of either accept it or we don't, or whatever. And with her role in that show, I feel like you really, even if you wasn't part of the LGBT community, like you was able to understand like the layers. And I know sometimes people, they like to turn a blind eye to it and just be like, oh, I don't want to see it. And I feel like people who do that, they have trouble either one, identifying themselves with, their sexual exploration of wanting to accept reality. I'm just like, they in denial. And what I mean by being in denial is that they I don't want it to just focus on a sexual aspect, but I can't deny that aspect of it either. Like, a lot of times when people don't like things, 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 8 out of 10 of the times they're uncomfortable because they don't want to understand something that they already are having trouble with identifying with them within themselves. So with that being the case, I mean, I'm one of those people. Hey, pick me. I've been picked on, and it's been because of who I am and how I look and this, that, and the third. And people think that it's funny and it's cute, and they think it is funny and it's cute because they have their inner issues with themselves. Y'all know what I'm saying, because we all do it in some way or form, shape or fashion or whatever. But when it comes to sexual identity, I feel like uh, when people make laughs and they joke and carry on or whatever, it's not necessarily because they think that it's funny. It's because they have an inner turmoil within themselves, and they can't comprehend or wrap their head around how you're able to live your life in your truth versus them. And then that's when, like I said, the backlash comes when it based off of media, because they feel like they're throwing it is being thrown in your face, because a lot of people don't know how to be liberated sexually or identify be liberated living out loud, or liberated just being themselves. You know, a lot of people go through life suppressing and suppressing themselves to a point where that becomes what they accept their life should be, because they don't want people to look at them any other kind of way. And I knew at a very young age I couldn't personally do that. So I that's why I had to bring it back to applauding, you know, Zayaway, tsmadison, because tsmadison, her story it's so colorful, girl. If y'all know the TS, y'all know she has a colorful story, and we love her for it, because baby, you know, she showed you that you could be down in the gutters, and you could rise up and bloom, baby. And when I say TS did that, she did that. Her. Can't nobody, no mama, grandma, auntie argue with me about that. That's why, and she Libra too. You know, that's my girl. But no, but no. Nonetheless, I just think when it comes to round this all back off, I do want to mention how the Black community feels like LGBTQIA elemental QRCP is throwing or shoving or pushing the gay agenda or the gay narrative or the LGBTQIA narrative or whatever. And like I said, I'm not gonna deny that from the aspect of that. I've seen it in media where I feel like things have been forced, but I also feel like there's this place and this space for everybody to coexist. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody, whether you like it or not or whatever. It's just the fact that we are humans at the end of the day. And if you feel like you're suppressing who you are because of the next person or this person over here and that, like, that's because you haven't allowed yourself to tap into that place in your brain to accept the reality of the human race around you, you know. And okay, I'm gonna bring it back, because I could really go there, and I'm not. I'm a crybaby. I don't want this video to give that. But I just think a lot of times, if people focus more on people's what's that saying? Focus more on Martin Luther King said it, the concept of the person's character versus their color, something like that. Y'all know what I'm saying. It's been a long time. I don't know those words verbatim, but I just focus. I think if people focus more on that and less about sexuality and gender and wanting people to walk by their sight or whatever, then we would be in a better place. So all in all, I'm gonna say nah, they ain't forcing the damn agenda, but but if you see it and you clock it, then you know it. But it is what it is. We got a lot of work to do. All bullshit aside, we have a lot of work to do. So, girl, I don't know what else to say besides just stay tuned for another episode of Black Gay Stuff. Next week I should be back. There shouldn't be any hiccups, no issues, no nothing. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode.